Okay, we're live. There you go. Thank you, Shane, for being on the show. I got Wildcat for this event.
Perfect.
A beer that I don't think I've had since I was 21 years old. So
back when you were broke.
Oh, I'm. Give me a sec here. I had to mute myself. I was getting an echo. So there we go.
No problem, man.
Yeah. Okay. So here goes. Here's my first Wildcat in 19 years. So Shane, how are you? How you doing?
Not bad, man. You know, been working a fair bit. I usually work 20 days on, 10 days off. So usually on my days off, I just hang out with the family, do the chores around the house, and you know, that's about it. Relax.
There we go. Let's try that now.
I do have a headset I can throw on too if it'll make it easier.
No, you know what it was? It's because I'm new to this and I can't understand technology at all. I had it opened online and then there's a bit of a delay, so then it was doing it.
Okay.
So sorry about that. So yeah, how are you doing?
Not bad, man. I work in camp, so once I come home, I do chores and I hang out with family. Yeah.
So are you on the rigs up north there?
I don't necessarily work on the rigs. Once in a while, I'll work beside them. Normally, what we do, like when I first got into the patch, I started as an electrician, so an industrial electrician. So I do the calibrations for the wellhead shutdowns, plant maintenance, plant shutdowns, and now I changed industry, and now I do completions. So now I do like the frac, flow back, all that. So clean up the wells before they send them in production to the plants.
Now that's pretty that's pretty intense work that you do.
It can be, yeah. You know, I've worked around a bit of H2S. You know, not necessarily good things that I've done. Not safety regulation. not up to par for safety. But yeah, once in a while, you know, you can go to plants where it's severely sour. Where if you get one whiff of gas, you're kaput, right? Normally, they're pretty on the ball about that kind of stuff. You know, you pack up, you got fresh air. You go into a zone and you're totally safe. You know, you got to get fit tested every year, always clean shaven, everything like that.
Really? Yeah. So this growth that you have on your face, that's
just day off growth. It's going to be gone tomorrow before I go back to work.
Man, I wish I had that problem. I can barely grow facial hair. I look like you know, like I'm 12 trying to start this thing or something.
Man, as soon as I shave, I get ID'd everywhere when I got to go buy a pack of cigarettes or anything like that. So,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So how old are you?
I am 27.
27.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a good age. You got life figured out, man. You got life.
Oh man, I jump on the trampoline with a kid and I'm sore after. So
it's catching up. Yeah. How old's you have a daughter, right?
I have a daughter. Yeah, she's turning 4 in May. So actually near the end of May, she's turning 4. Yeah, and then I actually have another kid on the way too, due September 8th. A little boy.
Congrats!
Thank you.
Oh, you know it's a boy.
Yeah, we found out. We couldn't wait.
Wow! Congrats, man. You got the whole package. I mean, you got a boy.
One boy, one girl. That doesn't happen often, but it's a blessing. That's for sure. Yeah.
That's awesome. Do you have a name picked out for the boy?
I believe we're gonna go with Lincoln.
Lincoln.
Yeah.
Any significance to that?
Not really. Just like the name. Very strong name that me and the wife think it's a very strong name. So middle name is going to be Otto. So Otto after my Hungarian grandfather there.
Okay.
And then the last name Ra that you have to spell to everybody.
There you go.
Yeah.
Is that actually your last name?
Yeah, 100%, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
You are a legend, my friend. I mean, I thought that was a pseudonym, but
no, man, just Raw, R-A-W, and I say
how
spell it.
that is incredibly suiting. For whatever reason, I thought it was Savage.
No,
at first. Yeah, that's awesome. So, okay, the reason I wanted you to come on the show here is you have an incredible mullet. Amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, beautiful. Like you should be a mullet model. I don't know if that's a thing. And and mullets are making a comeback.
They are, yeah.
So what now I actually want to talk about the history of mullets, but what made you, because obviously you weren't, maybe Lincoln will be born with a beautiful mane like that, but you weren't born with that head of hair. What made you?
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say, what made you do that?
Me, I don't know. I'm not necessarily like, I'm a very polite person, but I can blow up pretty good. I don't mind swearing. I'm very, I don't know. If it isn't my way, I don't fucking like it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And the mullet, it's just kind of like, it stands out. Not that I really care about standing out. I don't care about the attention. I don't care about people looking at me. My biggest thing is just that, I don't give a fuck, and it kind of suits my style. And
right,
the wife likes it. She got me to perm it there fucking half a month ago, and she loves it. She loves when I got the long sideburns, the fucking gross mustache, the beard. She loves it all. So it's, as long as the wife's happy, I'm good with it, man.
Like spoken like a man who truly understands the world,
Oh, exactly. I go out and I work with my fucking hands and I cut wood, and
that's awesome. So were you born in Fort St. John?
No, so I was actually born in Kamloops, and then my dad ended up moving us up here when I was about 3 years old, because he used to do a lot in Kamloops for car audio, car electrical, everything like that, but it just wasn't paying enough to live in Kamloops, right? There's a reason why they call it the Broken Noggin. And so he moved us up to Fort St. John to pursue a career in being an electrician. So he's actually a Red Seal electrician, and he wanted to move us up here to, make life a little easier. It started out rough. We didn't have all the money in the bank, so 8 KD a couple times,
Right.
Lived not saying it was a very comfortable upbringing here. My parents did everything they can, and that's all you can say, right? And they did a great job. And I'd like to say, me and my brother, we grew up right. And so we moved up here when I was 3. So we've been here for the last 24 years. And I've so pretty much born in Kamloops, raised here.
Right.
Yeah.
And I imagine it's a very different way of life in Fort St. John than where I am in Surrey.
Yeah.
Which it's like it's every hour is rush hour here.
Yeah, no, here, you got your typical 5 o'clock rush hour when everybody's off work. But honestly, from 4 or 3 o'clock in the morning to about 9, that's our rush hour, because everybody's in the trucks on their way to work, right? Because if some people got to drive 2-3 hours to the site and do their shit and then come back, right? So they say the most dangerous part of our job is traveling the highway to work, and honestly, it is. There's been a lot of accidents, a lot of bad accidents on this highway, the Alaska Highway, just going to work because everybody's in a hurry because, time is money.
Yes. Yeah. And it's tough to be like, you're working in camp, you have this physical job, but you have a family, right? And being away from them for a significant, I work during the day, right? And then I come back and, you miss your family. So I imagine being away from them for, I guess, is it like 2 weeks you're saying?
I'm on shift for 20 days in camp, 10 days home.
Yeah.
So it's not a bad shift. It's not a bad rotation, but yeah, it gets hard, right? It's the hardest part about it's leaving, and then, the child being upset for a while and missing her dad, and, calling, and she's upset because I'm not around. And the biggest thing too is I'm practically missing her grow up, right?
Yeah. Well, you're 4 years old. Like all these milestones, right? You could leave, come back, and she's learned a completely new, she could be walking kind of thing.
Yeah.
I hope you haven't missed that, those.
I didn't miss her walking, but I missed some other things. I'll come home and she'll look at me and she'll say something. I'm like, where the fuck did you learn that? Stuff like that. But,
yeah.
Awesome. A lot of the milestones, I'm pretty good. So like on her birthday, I always make sure I'm home for her birthday. I'm always home for Christmas. I'll leave work early if I have to. And if they don't like it, then I'll leave. I'm not going to miss my child's life because you guys think that I need to make you more money, right?
Right. Yeah. You're working for somebody. And exactly. And I think in you know, believe it or not, the mullet and yourself, you have important lessons to teach everybody, you know, because we live in a society that I think is becoming a little too soft.
Agreed. 100%.
Right. And to have firm boundaries, as difficult as that may be sometimes, is necessary for your own mental well-being.
Agreed. Yeah.
So now I know we kind of touched on this, but I want to talk about the power of the mullet and the history of it. So what made you got the mullet because you like that you're not a flashy person, but you just like the way it kind of looks, right?
Yeah.
But what does the mullet say?
Say what you want. I don't give a shit. If I gave a shit, I wouldn't have a mullet.
That is an excellent point.
Yeah, like honestly, I walk into places and people will look at me and they'll snicker and shit. And I've gotten a haircut and people were in the background giggling, and I'd get up and they would give me the most disgusting look.
Right.
And I literally looked at her and I smiled and I said, "Fucking awesome, isn't it?" And I walked out. So, you know, it's kind of like it's almost like a symbol of you don't really give a shit what anybody has to say about you. You know, I'm just out here doing me, and I would hope everybody else would do the same thing, you know?
Right. Because we care too much.
We do. 100% we do. Everybody always has something to say, and the biggest thing about it, too, is I feel like the internet gives everybody an opinion, a public opinion, and, you know, opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one, but I don't want to see it, and I don't want to hear about it, right?
Yeah.
So
fair enough. And we definitely do. We think that our opinion is holier than thou, which is, again, I've said this before. That's the reason why I started this show is, you know, I'm probably wrong about everything. And if you have that mindset, you're actually going to enjoy life a lot more. Like, you know, wait a minute. I don't have to pretend like I know what's happening here. I can admit that
you're not following society's guidelines, you know?
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Why is society like that? Like, why does it want us to fall in line?
Honestly,
I think the answer is evident, but anyway.
I think the biggest thing is the internet. You know, all these trends. Like you go back to the 80s and 90s, man, they had the craziest fucking hairstyles. Everybody kind of did
best music.
And the best music. They had the best rock. They had the best fucking techno. You know, everybody seemed to be in a good mood. And really, the world almost seemed to be, like from today's standpoint, it almost seemed to be in a harder place. It was in a shittier time, you know, it wasn't as fun. But if you look at it now, everybody back then, like there was no social media. You wanted to see your friends, you know, you call them up on a fucking wired phone, and half the generation now doesn't know anything about that.
Right.
You call them up and, hey, meet me at this lamppost at, you know, fucking 1 o'clock kind of thing, right? People didn't really have a place to show off themselves and to feel like they're nothing without other people saying something about it or giving them a like. You know, they're not living off of notifications or nothing like that. They just kind of did what they wanted.
Well, I mean, we talk about in psychology conditioning, right? And it's like if you flick the switch, the light goes on.
Yeah.
And the internet or our cell phones are a lot like that. You hear that ding, and I'm sure that a part of our brain lights up and we're getting that dopamine kick.
Yeah.
Because
100%.
we could be completely consumed by those things. I mean, I'm just as guilty.
Yeah.
But for yourself, you've kind of embraced the power of the internet. You have your Instagram account, Mr. Dirty North, and you show off some of your mullet modeling on there. I mean, how has that played a factor in spreading this message of the mullet?
Honestly, that kind of stuff is more of just like a fun thing for me, because my friends, they honestly all just they're surprised when I don't do shit like that, you know?
Yes.
So I'm not even really looking for like big following, nothing like that. It's more of just me being myself and having fun and be like, hey, look at this fucking idiot. You know?
Yeah.
So that's pretty much it.
And the fact that, you know, hey, look at this guy, but you, like you say, you do not give a shit.
No.
You're like, this is who I am, and if you have a fucking problem, you have a problem, right?
Yeah, you got a problem. Fuck, kick rocks, man. Fuck.
So now, was it inspired? What would you say inspired the renaissance of the mullet the most? Was it FUBAR?
Fuck yeah, I follow FUBAR pretty good. That's
Yeah.
definitely up there. You know, the redneck, the you know, it's just really like kind of like the, well, I guess it'd be more like a somewhat mixed in with like punk rock shit like that. You know,
Yes.
just the whole style of, you know, this is me and take it as it is, or, you know, fucking mind your own business kind of thing.
While it is kind of satirical, the mullet, like it's obviously it's like on fun and there's this sort of like haha around it.
Yeah.
There is an element of I interviewed somebody about Rastafari, and dreadlocks are like really significant in that community, and it's sort of like a sign of understanding of that belief system.
Yeah.
And I kind of almost wonder if the mullet, obviously not the same, but is comparable to that sort of Zen, like, I don't give a fuck. I'm going to drink Pabst. You know, this is it. And I'm fine with it. That's kind of what I equate the mullet to.
Yeah. Being okay with being white trash, you know, being okay with being yourself. Honestly, it's like people that have like the biggest mohawks or like the, you know, the big nasty chops, which I've done. You know, a big nasty chin strap, like shit like that. It's just, you know, it's this is kind of what I want to do, and you know, it works just so well with the redneckery and the beer drinking. Why not?
Yeah. And well, so when I was doing a little bit of research on the mullet, it turns out, like, I was trying to find when's the first mullet that ever came to be.
Yeah.
And apparently the Greek god Apollo, who was the god of music and light and prophecy and all this other shit, he rocked a mullet, which I think is like, okay, all right. And then I go forward, and the indigenous peoples of Britain, they had mullets. And the reason why, and they called it a Hunnic dress or something. That was the name of the hair. But I changed it into Hunnic Flow, which I think is poetic.
That sounds a lot better.
Yeah, but they had it because they could see from the, you know, the hair wasn't in their eyes, but on the back it would keep them warm. So that's the function of the mullet, which I was like, okay, is this true? Does it keep your neck warm?
It is a good neck warmer. That is true. my neck is always warm.
Now here's the other thing about the mullet is that in the day and age of inclusivity and you know, sort of gender, like what is masculine, what is feminine, it does describe it as it is sort of like, it's weird because it is gender neutral.
Yeah.
But for yourself, it's entirely masculine. Like, it's a weird amoeba, the mullet haircut.
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of the way you wear it, you know. I've noticed with the females that have the mullets, you know, they'll have the longer sides, but it's not actual facial hair. It's just they keep their sides a little longer.
Right.
Normally they'll have a little bit of, you know, maybe hang down in the front, unless they're that extreme. They fucking buzz it right off, you know. But the way I rock mine, yeah, I feel like it is a little bit more manly, you know.
Yes, I agree. Well, I mean, fuck, you epitomize masculinity. I'm not even fucking around, because think about it. You to not care is a purest sense of freedom.
Yeah, it is. Honestly, it's, you know, a lot of the people I hang out with are the exact same way. You know, like I have flashy friends. I got friends that, you know, they're mechanics. They walk around in fucking overalls all day that they cut the sleeves off of because, you know, their fucking coveralls are so goddamn dirty, but they're hot, so they just cut the fucking sleeves off of the night. You know, and then I also got, you know, a couple other friends that are pretty redneckery. They go hunting, you know, they fucking go mud bogging and everything like that. And I kind of have a friend in every little social circle, and it kind of works out because, you know, it's that's usually, you are who you put yourself around, right? So if you're one to not give a shit, normally you're going to start hanging around to the people that don't give a shit, I think.
You're drawn to them, yeah.
Yeah.
And so you're saying that you're kind of friends with everybody, but the one that obviously you're drawn most to is this, you know, do they all rock mullets?
I don't really think I have any other friends that actually rock mullets, to be honest. I feel like I kind of have the only actual one. I got a friend with really long hair, my buddy Nigel. He's got pretty long fucking hair, and he's had his halfway down his back before, but he's never gotten a cut into the mullet, I don't think.
So, okay. Now I am looking at it too, and I was reading up on somebody. They said Magda Riziko, who apparently is get this, she writes about mullets for like a fashion magazine. And she said that the mullet is perfect for Zoom calls because it's obviously business at the front. You know, you're ready for your Zoom call. But then at the back, you can just, it's like, you're good to go.
100%, man. Like, look at this. I hide everything. You know, fucking
yeah. The
ponytail. Exactly.
Apparently, Neil Peart is the first person in the rock and roll community to have rocked the mullet.
Fuck yeah.
And the rat tail.
There you go. Fuck yeah.
Yeah. So he was a revolutionary. Here's another fun fact about the mullet is that literally mullets are illegal in Iran. They're banned. Really? Mullets.
Are they just mullets or is it long hair? Well, actually, no, I guess they're allowed long hair. No shit.
Yeah, mullets are illegal. So mullets are revolutionary.
They don't know how to party.
here's the reason why is they view in Iran, the government views it as a decadent Western cut.
Really?
Yeah, get that. Decadent Western cut.
So like it's a perfect Western cut?
Yeah.
It's the dessert of haircuts?
Yeah, or the zenith, right?
Yeah.
But it's kind of like remember Ed Hardy? This is probably how they view it. Yeah. Remember Ed Hardy pants, and it was like, oh fuck, really?
Yeah.
That's how the mullet is seen. You know, it's seen as so blatantly free.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
But it's fucking anything you want to call it, man.
Yeah. But that's awesome. So. And this kind of segues into that. Like some cultures view it as, you know, decadent, over the top, this and that. And you talk about being a redneck. And I think that in society, being a redneck is really misunderstood.
It is 100%.
So tell us a little bit about what a redneck is. Because I got my neck burned today. I mean, I'm literally a redneck right now.
Should have had a mullet, man. You wouldn't go.
I know. Fuck. It said I got this, and I look like a far more extreme person.
Yeah.
So anyways, yeah.
In my eyes, a redneck would almost be like, you know, somebody that enjoys and isn't scared of getting dirty, isn't scared of pulling wrenches, isn't scared of, you know, going out to the bush. You know, you're not scared of getting bit by an animal. You're not worried about society's agenda. You know, I could give a shit about what our great and almighty leader has to say because at the same day, I'm going to keep on doing what I want to do, and he's going to keep taking as much money as he wants out of my paycheck. And, you know, I go out and I get muddy. When shit breaks, I fix it with zip ties and electrical tape to get home. You know, shit like that. You know, and I want to raise my daughter the same way, you know, not be scared of life. You know, be willing to try something. Don't say you don't like something until you at least try it once. And don't be afraid to get dirty, man. You know, I'm even walking down the road, people yell at their kids for trying to jump into a puddle. And honestly, my kids fucking fly at it, man. Drink some if you want. Work on that immunity system, you know? And yeah, so she's happy. And that's honestly what I think about rednecks.
I do think, okay, so here's the criticism they say of rednecks is that to be a redneck is like, apparently that means you're racist.
Not at all.
Right.
Not at all. No, that is the farthest thing. I have friends that are black. I have indigenous friends. I have friends of all cultures. And you know what? They all look at me like I'm a stand-up guy, I believe. And, you know, they look at me like I could never do harm to them. You know what I mean? And, you know, I've never said a racial slur to any one of them. I'm very down to earth. You know, I believe that racism is a thing, and it's there for sure. But, you know, No, I don't think that redneck like.
Yeah,
Of course, you're gonna have bad apples, but you can't sit
yeah,
there. You can't poison the whole barrel of apples because of a couple bad ones, right?
of course. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Well, and that's like anything, right? I think in any culture, because redneck is a culture, it's people try to understand it through hasty generalizations.
yeah,
You're always gonna, like you say, have bad apples in any group. To say
exactly.
that they're all good apples is a form of prejudice.
That's full of fucking shit. That's a total fucking blatant lie.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the other thing about being a redneck too is that there is truly almost these Buddhist elements. I mean, we look at how some people live, and they're stressed out all the time. They're worried about impressing their friends. They're worried about, you know, buying a crazy vacation. Whereas my understanding of a redneck, and I would say I classify as one because I hunt, I
Yeah,
fish, I got it. I'll send you a picture of the whitetail I got this season.
fuck yeah.
Anyways, yeah. Well, I sure shit ain't a vegan. I'll say that. But
Yeah, fuck them.
yes, yeah, I agree, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plants have feelings too. Don't give me that shit.
Yeah.
But there's freedom there. And I think that where I live, I see a lot of constraints. Whereas for yourself, it's like you could go hunting, you could go fishing, right?
Yeah,
That's like a Zen place.
Yeah, it's open season. We got a lot of beautiful area. We get the Peace River right there. That's a fucking 10-minute drive from my home. I could go down there, hike down to a little fucking spot and start fishing, stuff like that. Like it's definitely a little different than the city folk claim to believe. And the biggest thing about Fort St. John too is right now we actually have the Site C Dam being built, and a lot of people. It's kind of a catch-22. A lot of people are against the Site C Dam,
right?
Which I understand. They believe that it's ruining this ecosystem and everything like that. They're diverting river, I believe, so that the ecosystem can keep on going. And then at the same time, too, the same people that are complaining about that and complaining about the oil and gas system and all of that are the same ones that want to go all electric. Okay, that's fine. I agree. Totally agree. We need to find another way to continue on in the world. The only problem with that, mostly everything in your home is built on oil-based products.
Yes.
Wind turbines have oil in them because there's friction, so you need lubrication. Dams need to be built to make the electrical or the electricity to subsidize all of the electrical vehicles that you guys want to push. And at the same time, our power grids actually couldn't handle everybody having an electrical vehicle. And when we do get the power grid that will help that, there's not enough power going through the power lines right now that are going to be able to help with the power grid, right? You have to upgrade every home's power supply just to help with charging your electrical vehicle. It's the average home power supply is not going to charge an electric vehicle. It just wouldn't do it. So you need these dams, you need these wind turbines just to create enough electricity. And then in the long run, you still need to upgrade every single electrical grid just to be able to, do that. Exactly.
I feel like you're almost providing stock insight here into, the future of economics, because you're right. We all think that it's going to happen like that.
Yeah.
The clothing you wear has oil in it, petroleum.
100%. The laptop or phone everybody's watching on right now, it's made out of oil.
Wow. So the oil industry will go on forever.
I would say oil will be a base in everything we do for probably the rest of humanitarian time. I would think, yes. Yeah. It's going to have something to do with the rest of at least our generation, 100%.
Well, I even think about, and you're mentioning electric cars and Tesla and Elon Musk. He's very much into, spacecraft and all that stuff. And for those, do you think those jets are going to shoot themselves out of the stratosphere on electricity?
You know what? Fuck.
That would be extreme.
Elon Musk is a fucking genius. But at the same time, like, for the weight to power ratio that you're going to get out of an electrical motor compared with batteries, like batteries are crazy heavy. Lithium mines aren't crazy clean. and everyone's, you know, pushing for lithium batteries. And right now, that's the best kind of battery that's on the available market is lithium. And lithium mines are dirty as fuck.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Even like with the recycling of the batteries, it's not clean, it's dirty. So honestly, I don't think that you're going to get a very good battery powered rocket. I don't think so.
Yeah. Long and short of it, I love how you're able to tie in that green energy is not necessarily clean energy.
It's
the
not.
Harvesting of these lithium batteries is horrible.
It is. And it's, you know, I don't want to take a fucking total 90-degree turn here, but it's the same thing with fucking vegans and their goddamn vegetables.
Yeah.
You know, it takes diesel to produce these vegetables because what are you going to pull them out of the ground with? You know, you're growing that much vegetables, you're going to have a diesel powered tractor. You know, you're flattening trees and you're getting rid of an ecosystem to plant your shit, right? So you're still using oil-based products. You're still getting rid of wildlife. Like, what about the fucking squirrel that lived in that tree, Karen? You know, he lost his fucking home. You know, just so you can plant your fucking lettuce.
Yeah.
You know, it's awesome that people want to sit there and feel like they're doing better for the world, but at the same time, you got to open up your eyes and realize nothing that humans are doing on this world is going to help it. Everything we do, just us being here, even if we went back to old times, we're still not doing anything. We're still not doing it any good.
Well, a friend of mine has equated us to H1N1.
What do you mean? Oh, yeah.
Like a bacteria that's spreading across this third. Like,
100%.
and then, but then you think about it, and you know, we have kids, and fuck, man, like I have never seen anything like that I love that much.
No,
I hope that everybody in the world, doesn't necessarily have to be a kid. Maybe you like draw a picture and it's like the greatest picture of all time, and that gives you great joy. But anyways, I hope that everybody can experience joy, because that's really what it is. Like when you look at your kid, you're like, fuck, this is awesome. Like she nurpled me before I got on the call here, and nobody touches my nipple. And I was like, yeah, like it was, like it's that. And then that's love.
Yeah.
Which, believe it or not, somehow this fucking ties into mullets. But mullets, kind of like dreadlocks and Rastafari, their real premise is just about spread joy around the world. And what the fuck else does a mullet do but spread joy?
Oh, no, that's honestly it. Even if you hate it, you fucking love it. Because
exactly. You hate to love it.
Exactly. You hate to love it because I walk by and you get a giggle out of it, you know?
Yeah.
Like, God damn, that is one greasy motherfucker. I'm like, fucking rock on, man.
I can't believe I used to love this beer. Like,
it's like a fucking malt liquor.
Dude, it's like I might as well be drinking Colt 45. But you know what, man? When I was 21, I don't know. I don't know about you in your 20s, but like this was my beer, and I threw up a frat party for my 21st birthday, and I got 3 kegs. And they're like, what do you want? I'm like, is there any way? I say to the guy, is there any way that you can do 2 kegs of Wildcat? And the guy's like, are you fucking crazy? Like, do you know what that's going to do to people? Like 3 kegs? No, 2. I got 2. And then the other one was like a honey lager, and it was fucking disgusting because it was that Ubrew stuff. Anyways, so I don't know which one's which, because they don't like, it's like, you know, street liquor. Yeah, the rental cans, and it's like made in some guy's basement.
Yeah.
So tap the keg, beer everywhere. People start showing up. You know, it was like $1,200 and a $600 damage deposit fee to rent this place, and I had a DJ, all this crazy shit. You would have had a great time, trust me. Anyways, I tapped the keg, and I drink this one because we had 2 going at a time. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck one is which. Turns out I tapped both the Wildcat ones at the same time. People were rinsed.
Just fucking
rinsed. Needless to say, I didn't get my damage deposit back. Like, I called the lady the next day, and I'm like, yeah, so how was it? She's like, did you see the washroom? They fucking put 5 fists. Like, I didn't get it back. The toilet, they fucked the toilet up. They pulled out. They do AA meetings there, which I'm like, ugh. And they had it upside down, and oh man, it was And when I went back to get my shit, there was like a dog class going on, and there's beer everywhere.
Just fucking stunk like puking hard liquor.
Oh, it was bad. It was bad.
So
I
it turned
still,
into an eviction party.
oh man, it was great. It was great. It was one of the best parties I've ever thrown. Yeah. So now where you live, are you like, do you host the parties, or are you still a wildcat, or what?
Ever since I became a dad, I've kind of slowed down on the partying. Once in a while, I'll get out there and I'll let a little loose. The old lady will get sick of me and she'll say, "Go fucking do something." that's kind of my get out of jail free card there.
Yeah.
I'll go over to a buddy's place and I'll let loose pretty good. I'll fucking walk up with a 2-4 Bud Light or Old Millie. I like Old Milwaukee, and I'll just fucking let her go. I have thrown a fucking pretty good rager in my dad's shop one time. I got my dad, my mom, and my dad got a buddy over just for fucking crowd control kind of thing, and my mom ended up getting fucking stoned and brought a bunch of fucking cooked pizzas and shit out, and turns out a bunch of drunk kids really love fucking pizza, and I was like, no, we don't need fucking pizza. Like, no, it'll help everybody stay a little bit more sober. Well, yeah, I have thrown a couple parties, and they turned into a fucking one bay garage. We ended up fitting 100 fucking plus kids in, so I had a big ass sound system and a shit ton of lights in there, and it was pretty fun. But I've thrown a couple parties, but normally I'm just the party goer. I don't like fucking my own shit up.
Yeah. I used to own the party house, and I called it the liquor hacienda.
Oh, there you go. Fuck yeah.
Yeah. People like I would not even be, this is the extent of it, Shane. I would not even be partying that night, because for once in my life I'd give my liver a break during that period. And fucking people just show up at my house. They're like, "Is Rob here?" And I'm like, "Yeah, man, I'm trying to watch Monsters Inc. Like, what the fuck do you want?" They're like, "Oh man, and
we got nowhere else to drink, man."
Yeah. Well, because there was always like Lone Soldier beers in my house. I think at one time I had like every shit beer. I had Bush, Bud Light, Old Milwaukee, the Dirty Lady, and I had all the shit beer in my house. I'm like, I don't want any of this right now, but I'll have all of it.
Yeah, exactly. It's free, so I'll fucking take it.
Exactly.
That's so that's the best and worst part from cleaning up from a party is the free liquor, but you got to clean up for every other fucking asshole.
Now, if I don't know if you're allowed to talk about this on record, but what I've gotten into is more of like the green liquor, marijuana.
Yeah. I used to be quite the fucking pothead, for sure. I would smoke a fucking at least an ounce every 3 or 4 days, myself, and I'd straight bong it the whole fucking way, man. I would smoke myself fucking retarded. I feel like I probably lost about 30 years on my fucking brain with the cells just because of how much weed I fucking smoked,
Okay, but this is where I'm going to go with this, because when you yes, you have this easy-go-lucky, appearance, but you're an incredibly intelligent person.
I'd like to think so, yeah.
Yeah, but like in a way that it's not like a pretentious, I'm so intelligent. Look at the books. I sometimes wonder about the bookcase behind me. It's like, I haven't read any of those books, right?
For sure.
So where did you get the knowledge that you have?
Honestly, a lot of it came down to my dad. He's a very down to earth guy, and don't get me wrong, he wasn't very liberal when I was growing up. If I fucked up or if I disrespected my mom, I got a whap upside the head, and at the time you hate him for it. But once you grow up, he's one of my best friends. I talk to my dad about a lot of things, and if something's going on in life and I feel like I can't talk to anybody else, I call my dad, and he'll tell me how it is. Smarten the fuck up, get your shit together, everything like that. And honestly, it's worked out pretty heavily in my life. He's taught me a lot of things. He never let me go out somewhere without knowing at least a little bit about it, I guess. I've been driving a vehicle since I was like 5 years old. I used to sit on his lap and run the steering wheel for him out in like the coulees and out of town. When I was 12, I got his first car that he bought when he was 19, just so I could know how to drive. And at 12, he's like, "Yeah, if you get insurance, I'll take you to town and you can drive it." So on my fucking, I got a job at McDonald's when I was 12 years old, cleaning up puke and spilled pops in the lobby because, you know, I wanted insurance for my car. And, you know, if you want nice clothes, you want those nice clothes all your friends have, you know, go get a job and buy them for yourself because, you know, I'm not always going to be here and you better learn how to, you know, self-sustain kind of thing, right?
Right.
So when you're a kid, it seems a little rough and it kind of feels like, you know, you're getting bullied. But at the same time, you're setting yourself up for fucking disaster, right? Like when failure and shit does hit, you're not going to sit there and freak out about it. You're going to be very calm and collected and understand it's only a momentary thing. And, you know, when I wouldn't understand stuff, especially with like education wise and stuff like that, I would ask my dad and he'd try and explain it in a different way. And I've always just looked at stuff in a different way and a lot more out of the box, down to earth kind of way. I understand there's an argument for every argument, but at the same time, you know, I understand that you want to do this, but this is my take on it, you know?
Right.
Yeah. So
have you ever read the book Shop Class for the Soul?
I have not, no.
Okay, man. I mean, I don't think you'd have to read it, but for some people, like, we can intellectualize things. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you like working on your car? Like you're so, you know, lesser than.
Yeah.
And really the ability to see a problem and solve it is such a rewarding thing.
It is 100%. I could totally agree with that.
Yeah. So what are like you've touched on some of the many virtues of the mullet and the redneck, which so Rastafari, right? Kind of here's my connection again. That and the hairstyle of that is the dreadlock.
Yeah.
Redneck, the hairstyle of that is the mullet.
Yes. 100%.
Wow. Sorry, I just drew a connection there. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Right.
I feel like the mullet is the redneckery, you know, because rednecks are some of the most humble people you ever meet. You know, if you're hungry, they'll fucking feed you. They'll take the shirt off their own fucking back if you're cold and starving, right? Like it's people like to judge them and like to put them down a lot, but at the same time, you know, I like helping people. You know, on like Christmas Day, I went to, just as for an example, once in a while, I like to do a do good thing. You know, like I'll see a homeless person, and one time it was Christmas morning, and it was like, I don't think it was too cold. I think it was only about -20 or so, so it wasn't crazy cold. It was snowing like a motherfucker, and you know I'm driving to Tim Hortons to get coffee for the family because it's Christmas morning, and I see a homeless guy just walking up the road, and so I didn't see him till after I got everything right, so I had to turn back and go back. But when I did see him, you know, I pulled over and you know here's a fresh coffee, here's a fucking hot breakfast, you know, Merry Christmas, like. Hope you find somewhere warm to stay, you know, everything like that, right? So the whole thing about rednecks being racists and rude and, you know, anti-everything, the only reason that it comes along that way is because, you know, we don't like getting told what to do and we like doing things our own way. And, you know, I'm not saying that there's only, there's multiple ways to skin a cat, let's just say. Right. You know, I don't necessarily like getting told what to do either, but at the same time, you know, I'll sit there and I'll fucking bend over backwards to help you and make sure that you're healthy and happy as well. You know, it's the same with a family man. You would understand, you know, we abuse our bodies. We go to work and, you know, we deal with a lot of stress on our shoulders to make sure our families are healthy and fed and warm. Right. So it's the same thing with the redneck scenario. 9 out of 10 times you're on a back road and you fucking pass a redneck and you're in trouble. They'll stop and help you and make sure you're good before they're good, right?
Well, would you say the redneck kind of way of life, at least in British Columbia or Canada or whatever, would you say that that's increasing as a culture or is it decreasing?
Honestly, that's hard to say because you know, I don't get across Canada much. I go to Alberta quite often because I got some family that lives there. And I definitely know within the oil and gas areas of Canada, like the northern BC and the, you know, the Alberta, like around Edmonton, Grand Prairie area, everything like that. I feel like it's definitely, you know, it's definitely strong and thriving because the patch is honestly a different breed of place anyways because you got to have thick fucking skin and you got to be able to get yelled at without fucking sitting there and breaking down and crying, right?
Yeah.
But,
For real though.
100%, man. Like I've seen people walk off the fucking site because they got yelled at. And honestly, the worst part about it is everybody there laughs after you walk off. Nobody fucking cares, right? But yeah, I think it is. I think it's kind of there and it's kind of not. I think a lot of the problem is that the mullet and everything like that is becoming a fashion statement.
Right.
You know, and the redneck culture is becoming more of a fashion statement. So you got you got a city kid that's starting to embrace that because he thinks that's the next fucking trend, and he's sitting there driving his mom's fucking Toyota Corolla. It's a hybrid, you know. Like I'm not saying drive a fucking gas guzzler, you drive what you can afford, 100%. But he's driving around with his mom's fucking car, trying to act like he's a redneck and he lives on concrete jungle. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's never worked a day in his life.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. So,
No.
man, such another great connection is that you can have this sort of appropriation of Bob Marley, right? People who love Bob Marley, and it's like, okay, name like 2 fucking songs, and they're like,
yeah, and they're
the one about It's Always Sunny. Oh, you mean Three Birds? Like you don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
They're gonna name the same 3 fucking songs every time.
Exactly. So. You're saying the same thing about redneck and mullet culture is that people can appropriate the virtues and the values of it.
Yeah.
Not embody those traits, but just kind of use it because it's a fad.
Yeah, exactly. They're just going to use it to their own benefit and once again gain followers and gain social media attention because now they're looking at themselves as different, right? I'm not going to follow the same rule of thumb as you guys. But at the same time, it's like, dude, you're clearly fucking, you get pampered.
Yes, you're sensitive.
You won't have fucking grease under your fingernails within the next 20 minutes and guarantee fucking teeth. That kind of way.
And to your point, I mean, this really is a problem. And I'm not trying to bait you here, by the way.
Yeah.
But I do think that as a society, we are becoming way too sensitive. Let me give you an example so I don't set you up. But the other day I work in the school system and I had to get whiteout, like whiteout, the sticky one.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's like it's tape. It's white tape.
Yeah.
And anyways, I'm like, hey, can I get some whiteout? They're like, oh yeah, it's in the back. And I'm looking at everything's labeled, right? And in this one thing, it's labeled correction fluid. What the fuck is that? It's not even fluid. It's not even fluid. It's tape. It's like the roller ones.
Man.
And I think to myself, how much time and money was invested in a fucking little board where people were coming up with, hey, listen, whiteout is way too offensive.
Yeah.
It suggests, something genocidal or something. We need to get rid of it. What the fuck, right? Like who came up with that? Because it's not, like I said, it's not even fluid. Where are we going with this?
It's fucking stupid, man. The whole oh fuck. I got a lot to say about that one. In my eyes, I'm a very down to earth guy, but at the same time, I think there's what they say, there's 32 genders now, something like that.
32 genders.
Yeah, apparently there's 32 genders now. I think that there's
I know there's a myriad of sexualities, right? Like LGBTQ, and here, just so I'm not further baiting you, LGBTQ, I do get that. Like I understand that for one, I'm pro gay rights. You know what I mean? 100%.
Like I have a gay uncle.
There you go. Like I've said before, if Jesus came here today, he would punch the person in the face who had a sign that said God hates gays.
Yeah.
He wouldn't punch them in the face. People are probably going to say I'm going to go to hell for that comment. But anyways, my point is that I'm all for that. But when people, again, are way too sensitive, that's when I'm like, okay, well, what do you want? Right? So sorry, I interrupted you, but I wanted to let you know where I'm at.
Yeah. No, where I'm at is, if you want to be different and if you feel, not be different, actually, you're the same kind of person. Don't quote me on that. If you want to be gay, fucking all the power to you, man. I don't give a shit whether you like dick or you like pussy. It is what it is. If that's what you're into, man, that's what you're into. Yeah, it doesn't matter what side of the street you swing on, dude. You fucking do you.
Yeah.
fucking, but like the whole, you know, I'm offended by everything that is inappropriately labeled, which is not actually inappropriately labeled, just because it has a fucking color in it, or because, you know, you have in electrical, you'll have a male side and a female side to wiring sometimes, you know, shit like that. That's just because that offends you doesn't mean that we should change the whole fucking world. Everybody that in the fucking dawn of time has been offended. But guess what? Time went on and shit hasn't changed. So why do we have to change everything because you guys think that it's for you? You know, not this world isn't fucking built around you. It is built around what's going to work best in the fucking world. So if you want to be gay, if you want to change genders, if you want to do this or that, all the power to you. Stop making it everybody else's fucking problem. Because honestly, not everybody out there's judging you. And look at me. I got a goddamn greasy mullet, a shitty mustache, and a fucking wrecked beard. But guess what? I don't fucking care that people, you know, sit there and judge me. So do what you do and stop looking for the handouts and quit looking for fucking getting noticed. I'm not saying everybody does that. I'm just saying the people that are very, very like, you know, look at me, I'm trying to make a difference. They're doing it for the social following.
Why do people do that? Why are they doing it for the wrong reasons? Like, what's your speculation?
Attention. Honestly, I think it's attention.
But why do they want the attention? Do you know what I mean?
Because they're missing something in their life, and that's the only thing that they feel is going to fill the void. Maybe.
I agree.
Yeah. If I was, oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No. After you.
Honestly, I'm not a therapist, so I couldn't.
Of course, yeah.
Into it. But honestly, I think it's a lot about the attention. They're looking for the attention, maybe verification on how they should feel, and the more people that back them up, the more that they feel like they're doing the right thing. They're supporting the cause.
Right. Everybody, I agree. To your point, is we all want a purpose, but when we put our purpose in other people, shit, man, that's not stable.
Yeah. No.
Whereas for yourself, you found your purpose in your work ethic, in being a dad, in being a friend, and being a good son, you know, in seeing a problem and solving it. You've put your purpose in that. And I'd say that's a hell of a lot more consistent.
Oh, 100%. I'd like to think so too. You know, once you start living your life for yourself and you stop giving a shit what everybody else has to fucking say about you, and you stay away from the news, stay away from the social media, go out to the bush and spend a couple days out there without your fucking cell phone, you'll realize, you know, not everything in this world is for you. And there's a whole fucking world out there that a lot of people never experience because they just don't want to go to the bush, or they want to stay in their house hidden, or you know, if you've never been fucking mud bogging in an old truck, just go out and buy a $500 truck and hit a fucking mud hole wide open, man. It'll change your life, right? And even when it breaks, fucking sell it because some other guy will buy it.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Last question for you. I mean, fuck, we could keep going, but I know you're a dad, so what's your thought? What's your take on Larry the Enticer? Actually, you know what? I have two questions. Sorry. What's your take on Larry the Enticer? Pit vipers.
I've had 4 sets of pit vipers. I currently have 2. My dog chewed up one, and the other one's went missing, I think. So I have 2 sets of pit vipers. Honestly, they work. I like different, and they are fucking different, man. Even with like the heat wave visuals and all that shit. And I'm actually, you know, I follow a lot of those fucking big ass obnoxious sunglasses that just work. And honestly, I like Pit Viper. Even after their latest stupid Instagram fucking bullshit, I didn't break mine. I'll tell you that.
What happened?
On Easter there, they ended up making I think one of their employees was stupid drunk or something like that, and had access to the Instagram and started going on for fucking the Easter Bunny or something, and hopes the Easter Bunny fucks you or something. I don't know. Shortly after that, I actually bought another set of Pit Vipers. So.
Oh, fuck. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's funny because like, did they issue an apology statement or were they like, fuck it?
They actually fired the fucking guy, and I think they did because, like, you know, the whole cancel culture bullshit. People are like, fucking hashtag smash your pits or something like that. And everybody's like crushing their fucking pit vipers over this shit. You know, whatever, man. You already paid for the fucking things.
Yeah, it's like burning a jersey, you know.
Exactly.
Like, fuck Allen Iverson, he switched teams.
Yeah.
That's how much I know about sports. I don't even think he switched teams. Anyways, if people burn the it's like, you know, he got the money for that already, right?
Exactly.
Like,
you already paid for it, man. They can give a fuck what you do with it now.
Well, it is funny because with the cancel culture thing is, you know, like I said, some of it, why are we killing ourselves on the, you know, like being so black and white on things? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like, why can't we just like take this case by case? For example, whiteout.
Yeah.
Like that's absurd.
Aunt Jemima fucking syrup, man. Like
that one I can't understand. That one I can't understand.
No.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I that one I do understand.
Okay.
Because of the history, right? Like,
okay, I never really looked into.
But that's just it.
History. Yeah.
And hear me out. Hear me out. There are some people that are like, I don't get that, but that's actually because they don't have the education. Do you know what I mean? Like they don't know why. Versus whiteout. Please explain that to me. Do you know what I mean? Like there's certain ones that it's like, please explain that to me. And if you can give me a good answer versus people who cancel them. Like my point is educate the person. Exactly. But when you cancel them, you actually make people more pissed off.
Yeah, 100%. So instead of starting an argument, or an argument doesn't necessarily mean a bad fucking thing. It just means you're gonna 100% pull out points on each side until you come to a conclusion, right? So the whole argument about a fucking syrup or a whiteout or whatever of getting canceled, the other person might not be as educated as you, so you don't have to sit there and fucking grill them on it. Explain to them on your side, and hopefully both sides are a little more understanding, right? You see a little bit more on each side.
Shane, you know what? You earlier you said something like, "Oh, I'm not a therapist," but so much of what you've said has been incredibly illuminating, right? Because I actually work as a counselor.
Oh, really? Okay.
So technically, I am a therapist, which is why I love the show, because what you just described is getting mad. We need to separate ourselves from our emotions.
100%.
Like as a society, like I understand that hurts your feelings.
Yeah.
I can understand that. However, I don't agree with how you're responding.
Exactly. Just because some kid took your toy doesn't mean you can sit there and have a fucking meltdown for the next 2 days about it. Get over it. Try and get it back. Come to a conclusion.
Solve the problem. Right?
Solve the fucking problem.
Going back to the virtues, the philosophy of redneck, man. I love it. So last question for you. I'm sorry I've taken up more time. I always fucking do this.
Yeah.
But what's your favorite type of music? Like, what do you listen to?
Honestly, man, my fucking Spotify playlist it'll give some people a fucking meltdown. Like, I will go from fucking hardcore rap to fucking, heavy metal to country to fucking like Celine Dion.
You are the man. You are the man.
I fucking feel, man. I listen to fucking dubstep. I listen to fucking screamo. I listen to Metallica. Fucking everything, man. I am all over the goddamn map.
You know what? The more you describe it, the more I think I realize that this is what I am. Yeah. I'm part of the redneck, world, I guess.
You got to work on that Mississippi mud flap. Get your neck warmer going.
Mississippi mud flap.
Yeah.
I love it, man.
Kentucky.
Well, I know that one. In fact, I saw a video. There's this guy. He's got the stash and everything. Kentucky waterfall, and he's sipping like like a nice Shiraz. You could tell this guy's at a nice restaurant, and he's just like, and it's flowing in the back, and I'm like, that guy gets it, because I've been to some pretentious places in my life, and it's like my wife and I, we went to the Sparkling Hills, right?
Yeah.
Think about the name. It's just
is that by Vernon?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
And my lady actually used to work there.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So, all right. So maybe she can comment on this. But the people there, they were very like their vibrancy, their vibrations were closed off.
Yeah.
Whereas I don't know if you've ever been to Harrison Hot Springs, but
No.
salt. Oh yeah, salt of the earth people. Like they're drinking bud, they're having a good time. It's nice, but they're having way more fun than the people at Sparkling Hills. It was like, do you guys enjoy your life? Like, I get it. You came up here in a Maserati, but you look fucking miserable.
Yeah, you look fucking pissed. Yeah, take a fucking shot and take your shirt off, man. Fuck.
Yes, man.
Yeah.
You know who I kind of think falls into this category that you're describing? I mean, everybody has a celebrity.
Yeah.
But either Matthew McConaughey or Kenny Chesney, I would say, embody.
Matthew McConaughey in fucking Dazed and Confused is my goddamn idol, man. He was the fucking man.
Awesome.
Yeah, he was the shit.
What about Kenny Chesney?
Kenny Chesney's good. I like Kenny Chesney as well. Yeah, he's a fucking wicked singer. He's got a lot of great songs. You know, he's the fucking man. And you know what? He walks around with that stigma or with that attitude, like I'm the fucking man. Exactly. And honestly, everybody should. Everybody should walk around with that attitude, thinking you're the fucking man. But don't push it on other people. Don't try and act like a fucking asshole because you think you're the man. You know?
I love it. So last message for listeners here. And by the way, if anybody has questions, last question is what is your motto, your message to people listening?
My motto, my message is you know, be yourself, you know, and stop getting offended and stop looking for everybody else's opinion on what you fucking do. Just do yourself. And when you're, you know, live life to your standard. Just because it's not up to somebody else's standard, just because you're with or beside some rich guy that drives a Maserati, doesn't mean he lives a happy life, right? It's normally the people that have less that live the happier lives. And once you become more comfortable with that, and once you become more comfortable with yourself, you'll be really happy in life, and you know, you'll think you'll have everything in the world.
You know, you brought to mind the idea down here in the busy city, you know, of keeping up with the Joneses.
Yeah.
And it's like, why keep up with them? Why don't you just invite them in your fucking house and have a party?
Exactly.
Right?
You know, show them how they fucking do it, you know?
I love it, brother. Shane, thank you so much for your time and your insight. And I don't even know how I found you, but you made a comment.
I think it was Whiskey Wizards, honestly. I think.
Yeah, that's probably it. Yeah, which is a really cool resource for people to, because I think what's missing, like you've discussed here, is community.
It is 100%.
So,
and especially with, you know, the males and the whole stigma about males can't talk. The BC Whiskey Wizards page, for any of you viewers there, it's a very good place for males to go and express themselves and talk. And if you need somebody to talk to, somebody's there to listen. And most of the guys there, or some of the guys there, will have a relatable experience that they'll be able to, you know, shoot the shit with.
I love it, brother. Well, friend for life, man. And I doubt you'll be coming here for a beer, but I could be coming there.
Fucking perfect, man. Whenever you come up, let me know. I'll grab a fucking 2-4.
All right, brother. I call those a suitcase of beer.
Yeah? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Or briefcase.
Or flat. Same shit.
Awesome, brother. Thank you so much. And take care.
Fuck yeah, man. Thanks again, eh?
Thank you.